So what is SAP? SAP is a ERP application. Again, definitely will have a question. What is ERP? So ERP means Enterprise Resource Planning. Again, what is enterprise? Everyone knows enterprise is a company, firm, organization, anything which is usually it is an organization, right? R means resource. So typically for a company, what kind of resources you will see? Company will have manpower, which means employees and materials, machines, money also, right? These are the different resources where for a company will have usually. Planning, P means planning, ERP, P means planning. So if you plan all these resources, definitely you can reach your company's goals or achievements. Okay, so we have many advantages with ERP application. It's very highly integrated system. I'll explain you what is the integration, everything. So in the market you have many ERP applications like Oracle applications and mostly used to Microsoft Dynamics, JD Edwards, Navision. Many are there, BAN, ERP Next. Even Tally also it's a ERP application. Okay. Now okay, let us understand what is SAP, the description, right? SAP, S means system, A means application, P means products. System application products is a business software for data processing. So the answer is very simple. SAP application is used for data processing. So what kind of data processed, what kind of data it will get, it will process in the system. So it could be typically for a company, what kind of departments you will see for a company? You will see purchasing department, a sales department. You can do one thing. You can mute yourself, guys. You can mute yourself. Whenever you have any query, you can just unmute and you can ask the question. Yep. Okay. So you'll have an option. You'll have an option there. Let me show that. Sorry, here you'll have that option. Here. These three dots are there, right? So three dots, full screen. So these three dots are there, right? Three dots. Three dots beside to. Okay. Still. You can close this participants list. You can close this one. There is a X mark, right? You're able to see my screen. Here, there's an option is there. Close the people screen. This no, that cannot be closed. That cannot be closed, sir. Okay, but you're able to see my Excel screen, right? What? Okay, full screen. Let me try from my side. We'll see how it is showing. But no, no, that cannot be hide, sir. Even I've tried earlier, but cannot be hide. Okay. Okay. So SAP means it is a application software. Okay. It's a business application software which is used for data processing. So when I say data processing, what is data processing? So typically for a company, you will see accounts department, purchase department, sales department. So you'll process the data, relevant data. As I mentioned here, financial data, sales data, HR data, inventory data. So you will process all kind of business transactions related data. Okay. Going forward, we'll discuss the difference as a end user and a consultant. So, and if you look at here on the right side, SAP has many. So SAP is providing best practices, best solutions for the different kind of industries. Okay, so SAP, they can go for any implementation for construction industry or like service sectors, for genetic industry or manufacturing industry or pharmaceutical industry. For any company, SAP can be implemented. Okay, where SAP is providing best SAP best practices. So SAP has different business systems like CRM system, which is related to your customer relationship management. SRM, supply relationship management, financial management, cost management, human resource management. You have n number of models in SAP. You have more than 60 plus models in SAP. So let us understand what is evolution. Evolution means it's a kind of history. Okay, evolution means history. So so initially in 1972, there were five IBM engineers. So they resigned the job in IBM and then they started researching on the SAP application. So it started in 1972 by German company by ex IBM engineers. So the versions in 1979, it started with first R1 tier architecture server it is. I'll explain you what is R here. R means real time. Okay. So after 79, 94 is your R2. It's a two-tier architecture. 2005 they started with this is a major change. Okay, which is ECC version. ECC means Enterprise Central Component. Okay, they're updating the versions. They're developing with new functionalities, new modules, and so on. So from 2015, so initially it was simple finance. Okay, then they have moved to SAP S4 HANA system. So if you look at here in 2015, so if you look at this is a version ID 1511, 1609, 1709, 1809, 1909. If you look at here, the first two digits belongs to year, calendar year. The last two digit belongs to month. It's a September. Here it is November. Okay. But in 2020, SAP decided to go with every 1 year they're going to, I mean, there is no specific year and month version. It is like year, complete year version. The version name will be the year. 2020 version, 2021 version. Okay. So presently we are in 2023 version. So from 2023 onwards, SAP again introduced one SAP note saying that from 2023, SAP is going to release version for every 2 years, one version. So our next version will be on 2025. After 25, 27. So SAP has many versions. They have developed like anything. So many models has been implemented in SAP. Like if I start saying models, I can at least continuously I can say for 20 models which were introduced later. Okay. So this is something that related versions. And if you look at on the right side, I mentioned one key point. So till here, from 1979 to 2005, till here, okay. So present customers, whoever the customers implemented SAP till 2000, if they are using till 2005 version, okay, ECC version, they can use any database like Oracle or SQL database. But from 2015, SAP has introduced SAP S4 HANA system, right? So it is mandatory the customers should use HANA database only, SAP product only. So if they are going to implement SAP S4 HANA, they have to use a HANA database. This is mandatory. Okay. So here I mentioned some architecture, R1, R2 architecture in the some in the beginning during the beginning when the company was established in 1970-94 at that time they were using only one or two architecture methods. If you look at down, we have three layers. One is presentation layer, one is application layer, one is database layer. What is presentation layer? Of course, so this is your system, right, where you can see the my screen and you can work on the Excel sheet on the Word document. That is presentation, which you are use it's a medium like like a tablet or like a desktop or laptop, which is presentation medium. Application layer, even Excel sheet also working based on the programming language, right? Your Word document or your Excel sheet, or like if you take any application in your mobile, you have hundreds of applications, even WhatsApp also, right? It's a backend, some coding, some program code is there, then only it will work. SAP is built on advanced business application programming layer, ABAP layer, advanced business application programming. This is something which is related to fourth generation programming language. So SAP front end, as a accountant, I just process the business data, right? Process accounting data. But a backend, someone needs to be developed, right? Someone has to develop the program. That program is built on the ABAP programming language. It's a backend. That is related to the application layer. What about the database layer? As I mentioned, SAP S4 HANA system mandatorily they should use HANA database. But before that, the previous versions they can use any database. So initially during 1917 it's our R1 architecture. So basically all the three layers are into one system. But during something around 94, during 94 time, they have two different servers. Like one is for, if you look at here, as mentioned, application presentation in one layer and one layer is for database layer. but R3 so slowly developed to R3. So they have individual systems like presentation layer in separate system, application layer in separate system, database layer in separate system. So these all these are like little technical, okay? It's not mandatory that you should know, but at least as SAP consultant you should aware. So three different layers. Let us understand what is SAP. So every time I'm saying SAP S4 HANA. What is HANA? I mentioned here high performance analytic appliance. This is abbreviation for the HANA. High performance. High performance means it's very speed. You can extract the report in seconds, in minutes, even bulk data. Okay, so analytical appliance application. So you will get n number of analytical reports for the each area, whether you take finance, you take sales, you take HR. So SAP has brought up with many reports. Now, how do you call this one SAP S4HANA? Basically, it is SAP Business Suite for S4HANA. SAP Business Suite for S4HANA. This is the actual application. Now, as I mentioned, SAP HANA is nothing but SAP HANA database. But whereas SAP S4HANA, this is a business suite. This is application where you have all the modules, where you can process the data. The backend is your database is SAP HANA. I mentioned here again SAP S4 HANA mandate S4 HANA mandatory should use SAP HANA database only. You can interrupt me if you have any questions. Okay. So SAP S4 HANA is a business suite. SAP HANA is a database. Now let us understand. Just imagine that you are like you are going to work in SAP projects, right? But before that, so what kind of projects you will see in SAP system? I mean, when you start working in as a SAP consultant in real time, what kind of projects you will see? Just imagine presently one company is there. It's Verizon is basically they're into telecom sector, telecommunication sector in US. It's one of the major like Airtel, Idea or like okay. So in India mostly we use Airtel or Geo. Similarly in US they're using Verizon. It's a leader for IT telecommunications in US. So Verizon presently they are using Oracle applications. Now they want to shift from Oracle applications to SAP S/4HANA completely. So moving from non-SAP to SAP, that is called new implementation, which is called green implementation, end-to-end implementation. So Verizon is moving from Oracle to SAP, that is called green implementation, also called end-to-end implementation. Now Verizon is already using SAP ECC, the older version, ECC 6 EHP7. Some version ID, this is version ID. So they're already into older version. They want to shift from older version to newer version, which is called migration project. They want to shift from older version to SAP S/4HANA, from ECC to SAP ECC to SAP S/4HANA. This is called migration project, and it is also called brownfield implementation. It's another name, brownfield implementation. Okay, so definitely you'll have support and maintenance project. This is one project, this is one project. Support and maintenance, of course, every technology will have support. You take .NET or like testing or Java, any project, right? Any technology will have support. Even for even our household items also, like washing machine, if you're getting some problem, definitely you'll call to the support team, right? Customer care. So they are also providing some support. Even here also will provide support to the Verizon once they are in SAP system. So it's a support maintenance is lifetime. You are providing support to the client Verizon. Now rollout. What is rollout? So during your green implementation, during your initial implementation, just imagine that you're like your Verizon company is doing business in many countries, US, America, India, Singapore, China. So Verizon company is doing business in many countries. Now when you are doing implementation, you are getting everything into one system. You are implementing for all the countries, but you have not implemented for Chinese company. So due to some obstacles or due to some reasons, some XYZ reasons, at that time at the time of implementation we have not considered China country. Later after 2 years After 2 years, now we are bringing Chinese to the same system. That is called rollout. So you're getting separate. So basically, rollout is you are like implementing separately for other country in the same system. You're doing it later. You're doing it later. Okay, that is called extension. So when you start working as SAP consultant, either you will work in green implementation, either you will work in brownfield implementation, or in support project, or it could be a rollout project. Any questions here? Since this is very important, because when you start working as SAP consultant, you should understand. When you join as SAP consultant initially, so you will have some KT sessions. Blue field, brown field or blue field? That is migration. That is called brown. Sir, I'm listening. What is blue field? Implementation, migration. So Nagaraju sir, have you heard about blue field any time in your experience? Sir, so refer to the blue field. Implementation with selective data transition is a hybrid migration strategy particularly popular for moving from older SAP system to the newer SAP HANA platform. This is called greenfield only, right, sir? It combines elements of both greenfield and brownfield approaches. It's a combination, it seems. Bluefield implementation with selective data transition. It's a hybrid migration strategy. Okay, it's a combination again between greenfield and brownfield. But again, so ECC is your older system and you're bringing to the SAP HANA system. So what we mentioned here, you're bringing your ECC to the HANA system, which is brownfield. But your blue field is a combination of both green and brown. That's what I understand with this description. But in my entire 21 years of experience, I never saw this word. This is really tricky for me. Maybe. Okay, but this is also good. This is also good. So someone is joined. So someone lost the call, I think. Okay, let it be. So now everyone understood the differences. What are the different projects we have in SAP? Is this is clear? So once you join as SAP consultant, definitely will ask the question to the project team lead or someone else, right? Whoever is giving the KT to you. We should ask. So in which project that we are like working? I mean, we'll be working in green implementation or brownfield implementation or support project or rollout. You should raise the questions. Okay, so this is so different cutoff for projects. Now this is only for overview understanding what are the different modules usually generally used in SAP system. Okay, different modules. So we have two types of modules, functional modules and technical modules. Let us understand technical modules. So basis is a module where they consider like all the administrative they'll consider all administration related activities. Okay, so they will take care of transports like moving changes from one system to another system, or they will set up the servers. Okay, and upgrading your version. So everything from the technical perspective, from the system perspective, they will take care. Basis team. We have ABAP, as I mentioned earlier. Each and every business transaction in the backend, there is a code, program code. That code is developed by ABAPers. So there might be situation while implementing for any client. Definitely there will be business requirements there. It will not fit in SAP system. So scenarios will not fit in SAP system. For those scenarios, we'll develop the programs with the help of ABAPers. Okay. Security team, it's an authorization related. So all the users will be provided, I mean, user authorization. So authorization is provided to all the users by security team. So there is another integration team. So which is we have standard model, which is process integration PI team, or called integration team. So this is something like if you have some multiple system like SAP system, you have some other system, you are moving data from one system to another system, completely different applications. Okay, so we use some inbound or outbound interfaces here. So for passing this information, we need some middleware system. Okay, so this entire thing will be taken care by integration team. We'll have many middleware systems like SnapLogic or cBurger. Many are there. Some hundreds of middleware systems are there. But the entire that part will be taken care by integration team. Mostly will be coordinating with the basis team. Will be coordinated with ABAP team and security team. Always. These are the different technical modules. If you Now let us understand functional modules. So functional modules, we are the functional consultants. We are like FI, SAP, FICO consultants. When I say FI means, so under FI we have the different areas, different contents like general ledger accounting, accounts receivable, accounts payable, asset accounting, closing, and so on. Okay, this is one module. SD, sales and distribution, where all the sales transactions are taken care by SD consultants. Material management, all the inventory transactions will be taken care by material management. Extended warehouse management, this is upgraded. I mean, it's another characteristic feature of inventory management, extended warehouse management. All the your inventory will get stored right under warehouse management, whether raw materials or like semi-finished goods or finished goods. HR, human resources. We are so SAP HANA, like we are using what do you say, SAP success factors for the human resources. It's an application. CO, right? CO means it's a management accounting, which is also called internal accounting. So usually cost accountants, chartered accountants who have very good experience in costing knowledge, they will go with the CO module. Okay, so under CO you can see many modules like project systems, product costing, material ledger, profitability analysis, activity based costing, cost center accounting, profit center accounting, cost element accounting. All these are related to the controlling, management accounting modules. So SAP has brought some more new models. If we come in contracts accounts, group reporting, financial supply chain management, joint venture accounting, business process consolidation, sorry, business planning and consolidation, PAPM, profitability analysis, performance management, central finance, global trade services, vendor invoice management. SAP has brought many models from 2016-17. They brought like new models into SAP system. In our agenda, we'll be discussing on the financial accounting. All related financial accounting related submodules will be discussed in this. In our training classes. So I'll be covering all the financial accounting related contents like GL, AP, AR, asset accounting, banking, and closing. But there is a prerequisite to define your some enterprise structure settings. I need to define some controlling related some settings, not all the settings, but at least we need to define basic settings of controlling. I will explain you during the when we start doing practicals in the system. But our focus is general ledger accounting, accounts payable, accounts receivable, asset accounting, banking, closing, and we have integration with the metal management, integration with your sales and distribution. Okay, and we'll see some stuff in controlling like cost center accounting, profit center accounting. So these are the modules that I'm going to cover in our classes. So this is at a high over, it's a overview of your difference between your functional models and technical models. Any question on this one? Understanding? So we are called SAP functional consultant. So now understand what are the different advantages we have SAP S/4HANA system. So why I should go for SAP S/4HANA? So as I mentioned, it is highly integrated system. It's a integration system, integrated system. So when I say integrated, so just for example, just imagine that from the perspective, metal management, when you purchase materials from the suppliers, so system automatically it will get updated in accounting part also. See, I have done some transactions here in the backend system is automatically getting updated in your accounting, accounts payable and accounts receivable. So basically, whenever you do transactions in I mean, whenever you do in transactions in SD module or MM module, in the back end, so system automatically update your accounting values. That's where integration comes into picture. That's why we call it as integrated system. Now, in-memory technology. So this is something that from the technical perspective. So basically, so the data is stored in RAM also. Usually the data is stored in database, right? Hardware. I mean, like as I mentioned, SQL or something else, any database. But in SAP system, the data even stored in RAM. So that the reason is the data will be very faster. The data will get processed very fast. So SAP has brought new technology which is in-memory technology. Multiple languages. Yes, SAP is supporting in many languages, Spanish, Chinese, Japanese. But in our country, we are using like most of the countries will be using English language. But in certain countries like Japanese country or like if you take Spanish, if you look at France, they are using their own languages. Multiple currencies. Yes, we can handle up to 10 maximum. I mean 10 currencies, maximum up to 10 currencies. Just imagine your company is in India. Now so India now you can report in USD currency also. INR also. If you want to report in Japanese currency also, you can report in any currency, but up to maximum of 10 currencies that you can define. Okay, so multiple currencies. Data aggregation. Data aggregation is where you can extract the data very faster. So earlier ECC version you have multiple tables where the data is getting stored in multiple tables, but in SAP S4HANA system, no, the data is getting stored in only respective table. No redundancy, and I mean no duplicate data. So what happens if there is no duplicate data? You can extract the data very fast. Okay. Now another advantage is the data can be processed in any system, like by using a laptop or like can use by using tablet. Okay. So this can the Fury applications can be executed. I mean, when I say Fury applications, right? It's nothing but your data processing. So customer invoice, posting vendor invoice. So the business transactions can be posted by using Fury applications. By using any medium, tablet, mobile, laptops. It will work based on the web based. So these are the different advantages: multiple currencies, multiple languages. We can use any medium, and uh, and also integrated, very highly integrated system. Yeah, definitely, sir. You will come to know when I start creating the currencies in the system. Okay, we'll try to create. Yes, in ECC we can create only two parallel currencies along with your, I mean, excluding your company code currency. But in SAP S4 HANA system, we have that option creating up to maximum 10 currencies. That option is there. I'll explain you. Yes, we can exactly 100%, 100%, sir. Whenever you post, for example, if you are posting vendor invoice, that the value can be updated in 10 currencies, not only in INR and plus 9 currencies. Okay, that option is there. So during the configuration settings I will show you where to configure the currencies. Yes, yeah, you can maintain the description in the different languages. You have that option. Yeah, yes, that's correct. In ECC also we have the languages, but now it has been increased. I mean, it's added more languages now. More languages. So earlier in ECC, I mean, it was like updating in the multiple tables. So now it has been deleted. I mean, it has been removed. Okay, it has been removed everything. So now they're updating the data in the only specific tables. Okay, so removing the duplicate data. What happens if you're removing the duplicate data? It's very easy to extract the data very faster. So as I think you have mentioned here, ECC two parallel currencies and the one company code currency, but in SAP S/4HANA up to 10 currencies. That's the advantage. Now, yeah, yeah. Yes, yes, yes. Now the difference. I'm coming to that point, sir. Now, end user. When you say end user, right? So now we'll understand. Once you learn SAP, when you learn SAP, right? So you have two options. Either you can work as an end user, either you can work as a SAP consultant. When as a end user, you'll be working just you'll just process the data like posting customer invoice, customer payment, vendor invoice, vendor payment, purchase order, purchase requisition, goods receipt. You'll just process the data. But SAP consultant can design the system. Now Verizon system. I need to understand the Verizon business requirements. I need to understand Verizon business first. Then I will map it accordingly. I will configure the system. I will design the system. I will set up the system. Then only end user will work, right? So now you have to decide whether you want to work as a SAP consultant or as an end user. Definitely, SAP consultant will have very good packages. Definitely will have good salaries comparing with end user. So as a simple example, 6 years of experience in the market for SAP consultant. If the person changes within two or three company codes, see three companies within 6 years, definitely he will have more than 30 lakhs package. If he has very good strong skills, yeah. So if you take some like 10 years back, that I mean, it is very slow, but now it's as per the market conditions, you are getting very good packages as SAP consultant. So after learning SAP, now you have two options to work as an end user or SAP consultant. This belongs to non-IT, this belongs to IT industry. Now you're asking some question, right? So as an end user, they can, so we have to I mean, if you look at here, this is your system, it's a SAP logon pad. Okay, they can use this is called GUI, graphic user interface. This is an application where you process the data from here. Here also we have an option processing the data. SAP has brought up with a new SAP Fury apps. So a Fury apps library. So if you look at here, SAP has given accept all applications. So for example, I want to process one entry, say for example, customer invoice. I'm getting some background noise. So customer invoices you can process from here or you can process from GUI system application. This is web-based application. Okay. So an end user has two options. I mean, basically it will be decided by the client implementation, and it will be decided initially during the initial phase itself, during project preparation phase itself, whether they are going to use SAP GUI system or web-based Fury applications. Nowadays, I mean, I think all the new implementations are like the end users are working on the Fury applications only. But it's a similar. There is no difference. You can see my screen, right? So this is called GUI system, graphic user interface GUI system. So from here also So this is easy access. SAP easy access you will be used by end users. Of course, as a consultant, we'll test the scenarios, but this is meant for the end users. So if you look at here, accounting, financial accounting, under you take for example accounts payable. So document entry. So invoice, you can they post the transactions from here by using GUI system, or they can post transaction from Fury app if they have access to the with the Fury app. So FB60. So you see it here, manage suppliers or create incoming invoices. This is correct, AB60. So they can use this Fury app for posting the invoices. That will be web-based or GUI system. Both are same. The only difference is web-based and application. So this is something new. Fury app library. I think most apps were like implemented from 2019-20. Okay, you can see some thousands of Fury apps now. So now you should decide after learning SAP, right? By the end of this course, right? You have to decide in which way you want to go. So personally, I suggest you should always go for the higher level SAP consultant position instead of working as an end user, because you'll definitely will have what do you say um, after learning definitely will increase. I mean, you will be at that level working as a SAP consultant. Good knowledge. You will be working for the different industries. You will be implementing SAP for many clients. You will see SAP projects. Whatever we design, whatever we configure, the end user is using it. End user is using it. They don't know the backend configuration. They post the transaction AB60, as I mentioned earlier, customer invoice, vendor invoice. That's just to process the transaction by seeing the voucher. But to configure that, we will do the configuration, right? Without doing configuration, without designing the system, they can't post any transaction at all. So I personally advise to go for SAP consultant. Any, yeah, sir. Sir, sir, can you give me 2 minutes, sir? Someone is knocking the door. Sir, C block వచ్చారా sir? C block కి